Now I'm hot. They all on me. Is it fair for men to hold on to past rejection or rejections? And this video that we're about to react to has like really been all over the internet recently, and it's brought a lot of controversy. So let's take a look at this video.
Came up to the girl in high school. She was like, "Ugh, no, I don't want you." And then once she became a baby mama, he was a CEO, executive, and all that. And she's like, "Hey, you remember me?" He said, "Ugh, no, I don't want you." I be feeling like, respectfully, y'all is the grown-up versions of the niggas that got hurt in high school while we was out fucking with the drug dealers. Let me tell you something. We were victims then, making horrible ass decisions with grown ass niggas preying on us. Y'all gotta let that shit go.
Speaking to my guys, anytime that you find yourself in a situation where you dodged somebody that you thought was for you but really wasn't, that's God protecting you. And somebody.
So I think about all I can
protecting
think
you,
about is your boy Mike Jones. Now I'm hot, they all on me. Shout out to Mike Jones. Uh, do you think it's fair for men to hold on to past rejection, specifically all the way back in high school?
Do I think it's fair? Mm,
I mean, Anton said you dodged a bullet.
I don't think it should be like, I don't want to say fair though, because I think it depends on what type of rejection it was though. If it was like one of them rejections where somebody was like, you stink, you're ugly, like, you know, I'm talking about just degrading somebody.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they see you and you got that come up, things done change, you done reverse script, and you see her and she's got the bonnet on and the sweats with that muffin top. I'm holding on to that one, and when I see somebody like that, I'm letting loose. But again, like he said, that's God protecting you because that same person who pull up on you like, oh, how you doing? Like everything just didn't like you just didn't tell me I was a scrub back then. I mean, because that can be hurtful, especially when you're young. You know what I'm saying? Like when you young, you really trying to find your way, and
Yeah.
basically somebody tells you that you ain't ish, and it could be somebody that you thought was dope and you looked up to him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, okay, her, that's wifey material. Then you find out she's like clowning you on the low. It's like, that's a tough pill to swallow. It really is, especially when you 16, 15, that's a tough pill to swallow. Your arms might be down to your ankles, and you look goofy, big head, that type of thing, skinny, that type of stuff can
Braces,
really
yeah.
impact you. But uh at some point we all got to move past it. We all got to be adults. Not to say that I wouldn't be cordial, but it's not like I'm just gonna forget that you was just over there on that foolishness. I just can't forget that. Like, especially if somebody that you had your eye on, that you locked in on, you
Yeah.
radar zeroed in on this person, and come to find out this person ain't nothing like you thought. And the person like really tried to clown. So fair or foul, I'm kind of in the middle on that because I do think there's a place for it. Because disrespect is disrespect. Like you can't like just shake. Because we all creatures, we all human. When you
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
somebody in the streets that disrespected you before, it's the first thing you gonna do. It's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Oh, how you doing? No, that is not the first thing that you gonna do. Don't matter how long ago it was. It just is. Like, because we remember that. That's our
Yeah.
last impression of that individual. You know, they left a lasting impression. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where your discernment comes in, where because it's like the Christian in you wants to give that person a second chance, but that
once.
wisdom that yet wants But that
Hmm.
wisdom in you is like,
Smooth.
most people have a hard time changing. So if she was only after the dope boy because he had X, Y, and Z, she's only really after me because I have X, Y, and Z. So
Hey,
is it fair? No, I don't think it's
no.
fair. But I think men should utilize the wisdom that they have to make that decision because I'm sure it's going to be different for each
Hmm.
situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But don't try to blame me for your mistakes that you made, though. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like,
and so that's my next question. Should you forgive the women for passing you over because they were young and naive if that was the excuse?
I forgave all of them, but
Oh,
you don't have to give me an excuse. See, that's where we get upset. That's where it turns into the fair or the foul side of it. It's like, look, I don't care like if you was chasing a dope boy. Like I already knew that. Like now you talking to me like I'm dumb. Like I didn't know what you was looking for because I seen who you was with. So you don't have to qualify that now because you older and you grew up. You know what I'm saying? Now you in a better
yeah.
place mentally and you can see, you can see through the forest now, but you don't have to qualify it though. Because I already know that. I think that's where a lot of men is like, you know what? Pause on that. And that's a turn off because that lets me know she can't look past.
Mm,
You still having a hard time because you feel like a victim almost. Like, oh, well, I was hoodwinked. No, girl, that's a choice you made. We all make choices, whether they're right or wrong choices,
well,
and
yeah.
how we deal with them later in life is what shapes us. But if you have to tell me and make an excuse for what you did, just say, no, you did what you did. We don't even have to talk about the past. When you dwell on the past, that's when we can't even do anything future state. That's where I feel like that's where women fall off when it comes to that whole playing that victim card as if somebody wronged you. No, you just made a bad decision like everybody, like every other human being does. We all make horrible decisions in life. We
Facts,
deal with them in different
facts.
ways, but you don't have to make an excuse for those decisions because we all make bad decisions, and that's a turnoff. It just is.
But to her point, I will have to agree with her in the fact that in my late 20s, I did have more older gentlemen approaching
Mhm.
me than I did men of my age.
Oh yeah,
Even in
yeah.
the church, I had older deacons sending their sons my way. And these sons were 10, 8 years older than me. So definitely there is at an age in which these men do come at the girls. But as
Oh.
you indicated, it's a choice. Whether you
Hmm.
choose to be with this man who is older than you and established,
Hmm.
or you get with somebody who is more, I should say, similar, equally yoked. Let's just say
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do you think that this rejection that from your youth
Hmm.
has any basically can shape your future relationships? So you being rejected in high school, did it have any
Hmm.
effect on your future, your college, currently now relationships
No, not
because of
really.
the rejection?
No, not really. Because again, like once you kind of move on and you got somebody else on your radar, you ain't thinking about that other person. I think that's the funny thing about when somebody does try to come back and kind of tries to like not show interest, but show interest in wanting to talk, kind of like wanting to get to know you.
Mm,
That's the part that kills me because it's like, look, I kind of got past that a long time ago. Like you just like an associate to me. Like I'll see you and be like, "Hey, what's good? How you doing? You doing good? Cool, peace." We don't have to have that rekindling because there's nothing to rekindle, really. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I get it.
yeah.
I feel like that's where people like really mess up. It's like homie said, like we didn't work out or we didn't come together for a reason. Like us seeing each other 20 years later don't mean we gonna have a magically have a union. No, like we ain't been in each other's space, in each other's realm for
Mm,
20 years. So there's somebody out there for everybody, but at the end of the day, I don't need to retrace my steps. I don't need to go backwards. And I think that's kind of like the point where we all should be. Like we don't have to moonwalk
yeah, yeah.
because we liked somebody when we was 16. Now somebody's 36. We don't have to have any type of relationship. Like we just don't, you know. So nobody should feel ashamed
Shame. Yeah,
for
yeah.
like you don't have to apologize to me for how you treated me. Like I got over that. You know. I would respect somebody more for acting like it didn't happen, you know, for real. Instead of trying to say, oh, I'm really sorry about what I did. Like, girl, like, when was that again? Because I damn near forgot about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you trying to bring up old stuff. Now you about to have me on one again and thinking about
Apparently, she was thinking about you, Jammer.
it.
Ray said, "Is that meme about the girl going for the thug life guy over the nerdy guy more myth than fact?"
Mm, mm. That's a great question, Ray.
I don't know, Ray. In my experience, for me as a woman, and I mind you, I'm a bit older than some of these folks, but it was facts. I no lie. I was attracted to the thugs, the dope boys. That's who I was attracted to. Now, I chose not to move forward because I knew one,
Hmm.
my daddy wasn't having it. And two,
Hmm.
living that lifestyle, I know you're gonna end up in one or two places, in
A
that grave
situation.
or in a jail.
A situation.
So for me, yes, I was more attracted to that life. Not to mention, and I this is where it is so important that we raise our women to respect themselves and to know what to look for, because we can easily get caught up in the right now
Hmm.
versus later, because
Absolutely.
I knew my worth. I knew that that was only going to be a short time, you know, whatever you want to call it, infatuation, that I didn't
Hmm.
act upon it. But there are many, many women teaching their children, their
Hmm.
daughters to go and get that bag.
Right.
But how long is that going to last?
Right. I mean, it's just like that old saying, you pay for what you get. If you want that steak, but yet you pulling up to McDonald's and you at the dollar menu, you pay for what you're not gonna get the steak. You go, you gonna get that fast food. So it's like people are attracted to things that they know that they can easily get,
Hmm,
but they don't want the things that they know they really gotta wait on. Like because people we ain't patient enough.
right.
That's the problem. Because it looks cool, it looks fun, you know. I mean, I can ride in this dude's car. We can go here, go there. He pulls up to the parties, like blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's flash, it's appearance.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But you really aren't patient enough to wait for things that's really going to bless you in the end.
it's worth
And
it.
those are
Yes.
decisions that women make, but it's like you don't have to apologize for that. That's just what you wanted at that time. It's cool.
Well, so going into that, do you think women truly regret those past choices? Or is it about the fact that they see this success in the man now?
That's a good question because I think it depends on the woman,
Mm,
right? I mean, some women probably don't regret that because it helped them so much, but it was such a wake up call and such a learning lesson for them. They whole mind was was blown. It's like, okay, I can see. I can see out here now. I see, because they end up seeing another, how women be so competitive. They end up seeing another woman with the dude that they really should have been with. You know what I'm saying? The nice dude, nice job, respectful, go to church with him. You know what I'm saying? Speak
yeah.
to your mama. You know what I'm saying? Shake your daddy's hand. That dude. And then you over here with Pookie, and Pookie's locked up, you know. And in some situations, Pookie would leave you with a baby, and you sitting there with a baby and no man to help you. All those things are lessons, but they're also choices,
Yeah.
and you got to live with them choices. And how you come out of those choices is what's really going to define who you are in the long run. That's what women got to really understand. But then you got those women who do regret it
Mm,
and they start chasing things that they really can't achieve. It's like, okay, now you want the Tay Diggs type dude. You want the Morris Chestnut. Like, you're not going to get that guy. Like, why are you going for that now? You're doing this off of regret because you regretted your choices in the past
mm.
instead of learning from them. Now you think Dwayne
Ooh.
Johnson is a possibility for you. No, girl, get your head on. Forget that. You made a bad choice. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
I mean, what's the saying that if you regret what you did, you really didn't learn from
Mm-mm.
your situation?
No, not at all.
Do you do you think it's hypocritical for women to want to be in the relationship with a man that they previously ignored?
Man.
Because you know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't want him because he was a
Again,
nerd. He's the same person, but
it
now I
depends
see what
on
he got.
this. Yeah, the wake up, the humble. I wouldn't say. Sometimes it's humble pie though. Sometimes it
Mm,
really is.
mm.
You know, and sometimes you just gotta take a salute to that person who cooked that humble pie up for you. And just tell that person thank you because now I see. You know, so I don't think it's necessarily hypocritical. I do think it's funny, in a sense, but I don't think it's hypocritical because,
I'm glad you can
um,
laugh about it because a lot of I should
yeah,
a lot
we
of
can laugh
men can
about it
see that, you know?
because none of us are perfect, and we choose the paths that we choose because the door that wasn't the door we were supposed to go through, and God always opens up another one for you. So if he opened up that door and there was that nerdy dude standing right there behind it, then that's the situation you were supposed to be in. But it's still funny that you chose that other door that led you down that dark road. You knew
Bro,
it was dark, but you still went down it anyway. So it's kind of like shame on you. But hey, welcome to the real world now. Now you got you somebody who's good for you. You ain't got Pookie's. You got out of Pookie's shadow.
Not the Pookies. Oh my